Welcome back to Abomination.
Live.
God damn it, we're not live this time. I checked. Streaming is hard and I don't like it.
Are we recording?
We are recording.
Good.
But yes, we will just do it live, shall we? DM Stray. We're DMing some Abomination Vaults. We're going to you, Gideon. Why don't you tell us about Gideon real quick?
Gideon, he's a human fighter. He is, not doing too bad, all things considered. Monsters no longer target him, I assume because it's just not worth the effort.
Good talk.
Good talk.
Cezanne,
It's been a long fucking day.
Yes.
why don't you tell us about Cezanne? Little babby 19-year-old Cezanne.
Cezanne is the human cleric of the party. Currently, he set off on a journey to learn more about his goddess and has led him to the Abomination Vault with this motley crew. And he's learning stuff, all right.
Lix on slowly going insane in the corner, and Gideon's just here.
Slowly.
That is Cezanne's character arc. Wesk.
That also seems to be Ziri's character arc.
Oh no, Ziri's character arc is much worse. Wesk.
What's up?
You know what's up. I shouldn't have to explain this to you. You're an adult, goddammit.
Are you sure?
Debate.
Wesk is the
Debatable.
oldest of
Wesk
us.
is like almost middle-aged for a kobold.
I can't tell kobold ages very well.
That's racist.
Yes.
Wesk is a kobold gunslinger. The unfortunate mascot of the party, I feel sometimes, considering how much he gets dragged around. But in general, has a good heart.
May or may not be a Yoshi.
And he's an Otari for his own reasons.
That's good enough for me. Ziri.
Ziri has only lovingly scooped Wesk.
That's fair.
And Ziri is a satyr animist who has way too many spells, and she very much likes dead and spooky things, which is why Chuck exists. Thanks, Wesk. You good little buddy. And I mean, she's just kind of here, but things have been getting real fucking weird, and sometimes she's not sure why she's still here. But here we are.
But here we are.
We're here indeed, just to suffer.
Alright. For 1 hero point. Who's recapping? Don't all jump up at once.
I did it
We
last
went
time.
into a room with a ghost, and I went to talk to the ghost, and everything was fine, and then it really fucking wasn't, and we had sprites and shit trying to kill us, so we had to fight them, and then when I finally talked to the ghost, he was super duper helpful, so, he gave us some advice on how to go about potentially getting past that, pesky glowing portal of doom and souls. And we just have to go find, what is it, 3 or 4 of his buddies? 3 after him, right?
Yes.
3
Four.
of his buddies. 4? 4 more?
Three
No.
more.
3 more.
3 more.
Yes, we have to find 3 more buddies and their little tokens. And he also let us rob his body, so that was pretty cash money of him.
And that ghost name?
That's a great question.
What's the
Albert
town's name?
Einstein.
Yeah.
Yes. What did you say?
What is the town's name?
Oh, Otari?
There you go.
His name is Otari.
Good assist, as ever, Gideon. But yes, last time I believe you guys returned from the Gauntlet, created a nice breakfast meal together because Brenda was sort of indisposed.
Her baby boy.
Her baby boy. You guys would be in way more trouble if I bothered to voice act during all of this as hard as I did during Ace Attorney. That was a threat. I don't know why you guys are laughing.
Oh no, Ace Attorney was great.
I feel thankful or left out, actually.
I got to voice one character and Stray was everyone else.
I like being threatened. I don't know.
Regardless. Afterwards, you guys met with Joseph, who informed you that the Sun Sword was stolen. I believe we've already pieced together that it was Tavius and Esmeralda, who you saw fleeing that same night. Spoke to Galantine Deliveries, who has agreed to deliver you items should you supply me a list of items you wish to purchase. And Morblunt is packing up and getting ready to move and is fed up with Otari. Made your way into the Gauntlet once more, descending the stairs, discovering that there is a massive, well, not quite massive, but regardless, even a small leak of the soul stream, the life stream. You know, that thing that circles the planet and recycles souls and energy and is really, really important. That is leaking out in the Gauntlet. Something is sucking or attempting to suck souls from the life stream. That was the important story bits that we missed in the recap. Other than that, you guys met the ghost of one Otari Ilvashti, acquired his icon, his treasure, his artifact, whatever you want to call it, the keyring belt, and are now needing to decide what your next steps will be, having been given the opportunity to potentially bypass the ghostly wall to the south that has been impeding your progress. And we go back to the Abomination vaults. What would everyone like to be doing?
Can I ask you a quick character knowledge question?
Sure.
I know Cezanne has not interacted very much with Morblunt. Does Cezanne know Morblunt has that book?
I assume party information is spread, so assuming that at least one of you knows it, you might have heard it from perhaps Ziri or Gideon or Wesk. For now, for the sake of the story and keeping things going without worrying about too much of the
Understandable.
bric-a-brac, let's just assume that yes, you guys know where the Sun Sword, the Hunter's Brooch, and the Thresholds of Truth are.
I actually don't think I know where the Hunter's Brooch is.
It's in the Dawnflower, isn't it?
Yeah, that would make sense, huh?
Hmm.
Well, we couldn't have two relics in there, that would have been too easy.
So, assuming that what he was talking about was the relics, we probably need to talk to Morblunt before he leaves town.
That would probably be a good approach. Can't help but feel like we should have done this before we went back.
Well,
We didn't
unfortunately,
exactly know.
yeah.
Did we?
So, I'm glad to have a path forward at this point.
Beats throwing myself up the wall.
Was that the plan?
You had a
It
plan.
was definitely a plan.
Okay. Regardless.
Well, let's get to the relics, I guess.
I can't
First-
imagine it's going to be easy to get people to part with them. But we have to figure it out somehow.
The most solid leave we've got, and it's the most time sensitive.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Very well, where's the party heading?
I feel like Morblin's is the most pressing.
We're going back.
Yeah, especially since I don't think we know where
What time of the day would it be now?
It is currently 1:30 in the evening. You guys had to sleep in.
Oh, I found the clock. Wow, it only took me that long.
There's a clock?
There's a clock.
Is a clock. There's also a calendar.
Wait, where's the clock?
It's the world clock on the left. It's the thing that looks like a clock.
Oh. sorry, I'm derailing us.
Yay, it wasn't just me.
Oh no, it was absolutely not just you.
Okay, anyways,
Now find the calendar.
back in character. If we're heading back to the town, I might pay the mayor's daughter a visit while you guys talk to Morblin.
Yes, that seems like a very good idea, honestly. It sounded like things had gotten worse there.
Alright.
But
We will go back up to Otari then.
Hey, Chuck.
You want Chuck?
No. I do not wish to bring Chuck into the town. Let's park him outside.
I mean, we can do whatever, man.
No! I don't think they'll appreciate Chuck the way I do.
They might not. I'm not sure anyone appreciates Chuck as much as you do.
Say, I don't know if the party appreciates Chuck the way Siri does.
nothing screams great after the events of the previous night, like the owlbear wandering into town.
With us.
Other than that, what I would like to do is, I would like everyone to roll me a fortitude save, if you would.
I can't at the moment. I'm loading Otari.
Of course you are.
Oh, I don't like that one.
Dang.
Dang. You guys suck at this.
Do we?
Excuse me.
You're excused. I've got to check something up very quickly. And then we will see. Okay.
Can't believe Gideon rolled a 17 and was still the second lowest roll on a fort save.
Yeah, you guys are quite powerful. Alright. After about 30 minutes, you guys do wind back up in Otari, overlooking the town once more. Siri, you are heading to the mayor's.
Yes.
Very well.
I will join Zeri at the mayor's.
Very well. Are you two heading to Odd Stories?
Sure.
Yep.
Very
Oh
well.
wait, they've left us to talk with Morblin.
What's the plan of attack? I don't really know this guy.
Pretty good question. Might actually be better if you do the talking.
Don't tell me you've burned bridges with him also.
It might be better if you do the talking.
Very well. Let's see. Where has everyone gone on my map?
Oh good, we've been deleted.
It won't matter, I've got more of you.
I didn't realize we were playing Paranoia.
It's fine, I can always make more.
Well, I have to have a character token because I can see the screen.
There you go. You guys end up standing in front of Odd Stories. This sort of strange, multi-storied stone spire surrounded by a rather quaint-looking country bookstore. Inside, you can occasionally hear Morblunt shuffling around loudly.
Oh, the good news is he hasn't left yet.
That's step one. Bad news is, what's it going to take to pry this thing from his hands?
Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be simple.
That's where
Maybe we should have started with the brooch.
Siri, Wesk, you two end up in front of the Mayor's Manor, where there is a commotion of activity, far more than what you're typically used to. As people sort of hustle and bustle around, how are you two approaching this plan of attack?
Do I see the mayor anywhere?
Not immediately, no. You do know where his office is, where he typically works, but other than that, no, you do not see him out and about right now.
And I would like to try and make my way to the door to go inside.
Okay. One of the guards steps forward as if to stop you before seeming to recognize who you are. He steps out of the way, and before long you are traveling through the manor with a sense of purpose in your stride, your hooves clicking nicely along the ground at a good clip, followed by Wesk's claws tip-tapping behind yours at a much more rapid pace. The two of you, the seemingly only non-standard race in this building. You stick out like a sore thumb as you round the corners that lead up to the mayor's office. Only to realize the mayor is not in his office.
So fires.
Okay, this is the same building though that we saw his daughter in, right? His daughter's room was in this,
Yes.
the manor? Okay. I guess let's see if we can find his daughter.
Okay. The two of you shrug and make your way off to the side area, the small bedroom where you know Doriana resides. Standing in front of the doorway, once again, the doorway carved with small scratches or knife marks indicating a growth chart beside the door. You stand in front of the small girl's bedroom. Are you taking any actions or preparatory? Are you prepping Wesk for anything, or?
I will knock when I'm at the door.
Okay. Knock at the door, and the tiny sounds you were hearing stop suddenly.
Hello? What was the daughter's name? Do I remember the daughter's name? I don't remember.
Doriana.
Oriana. Okay. Oriana, do you remember me? My name's Siri, and I came to see you before.
The doorway creaks open slowly. And a small girl's eyeball peers out from around the corner at you. She's not
Hi.
talking.
Do you mind if we come in for a little bit?
She looks between you and Wesk. Both of you. Rather strange looking. But regardless, she finally relents before striding back to where it looks like she was playing with some wooden blocks sitting on the floor. She's just kind of stacking them quietly.
So, your dad said things have maybe been a bit worse for you lately. She's gonna kind of walk closer and then crouch down closer to the girl's level. Could you tell me about that, maybe?
She shrugs.
Yuri's gonna kind of look over at Wes helplessly.
Mescal, like, shrug back, like...
Big fan of you constantly bringing Wesk, the man with 0 charisma.
That man is the only one good with children and has generally been the party face for some reason.
Well, would you mind if I played with you for a while?
There's a loud clatter as all of the blocks spray across the floor. She begins to stack them again.
Yuri's gonna kind of scoot in and sit by her and start hesitantly helping stack the blocks.
Okay. Wes, give me a diplomacy check.
Oh boy.
Wes, she is actively making attempts to basically turn her back on you and leave you out of any conversation or playtime.
Wesk will just lean back against the wall, and he'll just try and keep an ear into the conversation at least.
She glares at you openly before returning to playtime.
Yuri's gonna kind of helplessly look at Wesk again and sigh before saying, maybe she just wants a little, girl time, woman to woman, if you wouldn't mind.
She finally speaks up. Are you a girl?
I am, yes.
Daddy says devils don't have, girls.
Well, lucky I'm not a devil then.
You look like a devil.
Is it the horns?
It's the horns.
Understandable.
Daddy also says devils lie.
Devils probably do lie, but I wouldn't know because I'm not a devil.
That's exactly what a devil would say.
You're right, it is. But I'm a satyr. Do you know what that is?
Type of devil.
Not exactly, no. Have you ever heard of fairies or the forest? The woodland creatures?
Like
I
witches?
come from the forest. Closer? Yes. Yep. Kind of like a witch, but not a devil.
So you're like Belcora?
No. There are good witches and there are bad witches.
She returns
I'm
to
a good
stacking
witch.
blocks. I would swear. And somehow just as awkward.
I'll be right back.
We go to odd stories. Gideon Sazan, what's your plan of attack? Who's rolling an initiative here?
Let's see, initiative. It should be around here somewhere.
Gideon is going to shove forward the priest that had
That's
the
not
top
an active
charisma.
encounter.
Oh, hold
Hello?
up 1 second.
Oh,
Yeah?
Gideon is going to shove forward the priest.
Okay. Cezanne, are you resisting?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
just
good,
can't deal with
because
this
you
guy.
wouldn't have won.
Wow, on a 4.
On a 4?
Yeah.
Gideon's very strong.
Oh, sorry, no. No, that I actually had those numbers backwards.
Okay, probably enough stalling for time. Oh?
I can deal with Tobias. At least I know what to expect. This guy's just super awkward. Funny, because I don't think I've actually had any negative interactions with Morblint. They've all just been really awkward. Can't get a read on that guy.
I'll glance around. I've been shoved through the door.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, we're loading. Got it.
Oh my.
Oh,
Shut up.
okay. Oh, at risk of being pushed anymore, I will enter.
Alright. You do so. Stepping into the rather warm feeling. Much nicer than most of the other buildings around here. Several bookshelves line the walls here. Scrolls, all sorts of arcane implements. A nice rug and a divan. You are in a bookstore called Odd Stories.
There. Take it there's no immediate sign of the inhabitant.
There's noises coming from up ahead. The large bookshelf blocks your way.
Yeah.
He stops what he's doing as he's packing boxes inside of other boxes and boxes inside of bags, these extra dimensional storage containers. He looks at you, and for a second he can't help himself, and as he catches himself in a scowl at you, Cezanne, before he straightens himself up, sort of resetting his expression. Hello, can I help you?
You, looks like you're packing things up around here, huh?
Yes. I'm in a hurry.
Gideon will begin sifting through nearby bookshelves on what is remaining.
Looking for anything in particular?
I mean, if I see the book we're looking for, then I'll make note of that, but otherwise, just browsing to see what's available.
Okay. Give me a perception check. In secret, if you would. Continue, Cezanne.
Well, since you're in a hurry, I'll try not to make this long. The town's gotten a lot more dangerous as of late.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying what we all know here. Doesn't need to be said, but there's a lot of people here who are still holding out. But
And I applaud that sort of gumption, as these folks might say. Can I help you? I thought
okay,
you were going to
I'll
get to
cut
the point.
Sorry, I'll cut to the chase. The only way we can get deeper into this gauntlet and maybe make this place a little bit safer is gathering the items from the Rose Guard. And we know you have the book.
I do.
Now, I assume it's something quite precious to you, and I wouldn't want to get in the way of that, but a lot of people might be riding on this, and I was just wondering if you might be willing to be part of the help in making this place a little bit safer in the long run.
What exactly are you asking of me?
I'm asking that you lend us the book written by the Mage of the Rose Guard.
I lend you the incredibly valuable Thresholds of Truth. Just for free. People that I don't know. One of the finest books in my collection. One of the finest books from this local area for hundreds of years.
Gideon nods enthusiastically from around the bookshelf.
To do what? Take it into the gauntlet to never be seen again?
Nodding slows.
I mean, I could say that it would be seen again, but words are cheap.
They are indeed.
Do
you know what's not cheap?
The book.
The book. I'm glad that you're a man of some reason. I'm looking to pack up and move back to my home. I'm going to need resources and finances.
What is it that you're looking for?
200 gold.
Let me talk with my friend here.
Please do.
Why don't we step outside for a second, Gideon?
Sounds like a plan.
Well, we knew it wouldn't be easy.
200 gold. Not the worst price tag in the world, but certainly not the best either. That is a king's ransom for the standards of any book I'm aware of.
Somewhere Ziri sneezes. Speaking of. Ziri, Wesk. You guys are making no progress with Doriana.
Has
The only
West
thing you've noticed...
considered stepping outside yet?
Wesk, would you like to step outside?
Wesk will point at an imaginary timepiece on his wrist, mime 5, and then step outside.
Very well.
Wesk, wearing a timepiece, points at the imaginary timepiece.
True.
Doriana watches Wesk leave the room. Zira, the only thing that you really notice about Doriana is that there are bags under her eyes, and she sort of has a tired look about her that a child her age probably shouldn't have.
Oh, tell me, Doriana, have you been sleeping much lately?
Sometimes. The nightmares still happen every night, but they're not quite as scary these days.
Well, that's good. It's good that they're not as
I
scary.
always feel
Is
real
there a reason?
scared during the day, though.
Why do you feel scared during the day now?
I don't know.
Do you feel like something bad might happen?
Yeah. A lot of
To
bad
you?
things have happened.
That's true. Are you worried about a specific bad thing?
Esmeralda running away.
Why would you worry that she'd run away?
Because she did. She
Oh.
told me.
What'd she tell you?
She told me she was going to run away.
Well, Oriana, lately there's been a lot of things going on in this town, and the adults are having a hard time dealing with some of it.
Yeah,
So-
it all started when you guys came to town. That's what my
mean-
dad says.
I can't completely argue that.
You look like a devil, and you're from the woods like a witch, and bad things started. Have you ever considered leaving?
I have. Quite a few times, actually. She's gonna kind of stare wistfully into the distance before refocusing. But I'm trying to help.
Maybe you shouldn't. She knocks some blocks over again.
Ziri's gonna
A
kind of...
occultism check, Ziri.
Rolling hot tonight.
I'm gonna use a hero point.
Very well, you add 10 to that. Her words are rubbing you the wrong way until you realize that she had a ruby with the outcast curse on her. But you took that ruby. You're starting to piece together the fact that this is still the effect of an outcast curse rubbing you the wrong way. And the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end as you realize you don't know where that ruby went.
She's gonna kind of pause and look around the room and see if she notices anything that is kind of reminiscent of the stuffed animal
Her stuffed
that she
griffin
had
is
seen
back
the
on the
other
bed.
day. Alright. Ziri's gonna go ahead and kind of stand up and pause for a moment. She looks at the scattered blocks on the floor before dusting her hands off on her sides and then walking towards the bed to retrieve the griffin.
There's something hard in its stomach.
Doriana, have you been playing with the griffin again recently? This toy? Just gonna kind of wave at it.
Mm-hmm.
Little girl. Well, I think it might be kind of sick again and needs some help.
That's what you said last time.
I know.
If you just want to take him, you can just tell me.
Well, would you mind if I take him?
A lot, but I feel like you would do it anyway.
I won't just take him from you, but I do think something's wrong with him. She's gonna kind of fiddle with where she had stitched up before and see if she can, like, stick her fingers in there and feel for the ruby.
Yep.
She's gonna kind of pull the stitching apart then and pull it back out.
She watches you lazily as you shove your hand inside of her stuffed griffin and pull out a fist-sized ruby again.
Any idea how this got to be back in your griffin, Doriana?
She shakes her head.
She'd like to go to work trying to stitch the griffin back up.
Okay. I would say you have the ruby in your inventory again.
Once the griffin is fixed, she'd like to kind of just gently place it next to Doriana.
She turns around and knocks more blocks over, disinterested.
Zuri's gonna sigh before walking towards the door and kind of pausing in the doorway. Well, I hope you get some better rest, Oriana. And I'm sorry that things are hard and confusing right now, but they'll get better.
Yeah, that's what he says.
She's gonna kind of go like she's gonna walk out, but then pause at realizing what she said. That who?
The motley man.
Ah. So he's been talking to you again too?
Yeah. She looks to the spot beside her as if she has an imaginary friend there before turning back to you expectantly.
Is he here with us now?
Yeah.
Can Ziri notice any sense
There
of
are no
spirits nearby?
spirits.
Well, maybe he's right. The motley man and things will get better. Just try to keep your chin up.
She
and
giggles suddenly and rather creepily.
be
That made him
back-
smile.
Yeah? What makes the motley man smile?
That you think it'll get better.
She's gonna kind of tighten her grip on the ruby before sighing and turning away again. I'll see you soon, Doriana. And she's gonna walk out of the room.
Okay.
She's gonna gesture at Wesk as she walks by and then just kind of leave the manor.
Alright. Two of you leave the manor.
So, what happened?
She's going to release her grip a little bit on the ruby before holding it up in front of Wesk's face. This was in the griffin again.
Yeah,
Yeah, I noticed... How long ago did I notice it was missing? Just recently? Today? Was it multiple days?
Basically last night.
I noticed it was missing last night, and it was in the griffin again.
that's not good.
No, it's not, and I don't know, I feel like something about that creature she talks about, the Motley Man, is getting worse. I think we have to find a way to
Is this the first time you've heard about the Motley Man?
Were they not there for the first time I saw
No.
her? Oh, okay.
You are all alone in that
Yeah.
room.
Fair. I think we need to find somebody who either knows something about this Motley Man or find a way to destroy this ruby.
Elsewhere, back in Odd Stories. Gideon Sazan. He's asking
Do we
200
even
gold.
have 200 gold between us? Oh,
Not liquid.
Gideon, your thoughts turn to the valuable books.
No. Not again. She
something,
might actually curse me this time.
something up? Do you think of something?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. We could bargain for it, or we could see if perhaps the mayor might have some influence here. Or, and hear me out, we can kill two birds with one stone. We can hit the Dawnflower Library. I think we know someone who might be able to help us and also deals in books.
Okay, but we'll have to be quick about it. How packed did the place look when we were in there?
Not very. You also know, if he's looking to move, he would have to sell
He's
the
gonna need
property.
to charge us. Okay. Sure. So we've got a little bit of time.
To pull the curtain back.
The one way in which time is on our side.
To pull the curtain back just a smidge. This is not something that is going to happen overnight.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point.
Yeah,
I
you
forgot
mean
that. I
gathering all
forgot
the
that he would
relics?
have to be.
No, I mean him selling the bookstore and moving.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot that. I forgot that he had to be present to sell the property. To be honest. Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
bud. Let's go with that.
sell a
Let's go with the
property,
thought.
but-
Let's go with the thought that I've thought this through that much.
No, we'll go with that. It's not a terrible thought. We might be able to talk him down, but I just don't know. I don't know what we leverage from.
Well, that's why I'm hoping that maybe one of the other bookish types in town could tell us more about what might be a good bargain to him.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, you make a good point.
He said, talking to the bookish one. Alright, so I guess we hit the Dawnflower Library next and see if we can, as well as seeing if we have any information there that can help, we can also look into the brooch as well. Like I said, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Right, though. Maybe we should meet back up with Ziri. I know she's on pretty good terms with the Dawnflower
Mandy.
staff. Yes. Thank you. I was trying to say the
I
wrong
know.
name, and
There's so
Okay.
many Tammy, Vandy.
yeah. Frankly, my name snapped to Brenda, which I knew was not correct. So,
Yeah.
Oh.
Understandable. We have a lot more rapport with Brenda than we do everyone else right now.
Alright, well, I would say after about a combined 30 minutes of Ziri and Wes talking, and you two talking amongst yourselves and talking to Morblet, what's everyone doing?
Siri's gonna wander back towards. We knew that they were going to Odd Stories, right?
I would assume so, yes.
Okay, yeah. Upon leaving the manor, I'm gonna head back towards Odd Stories to try and meet up with them.
I'll follow along.
After about 30 minutes, Ziri and Wes come back looking like they also have not made much progress.
hey,
How'd it go?
You guys don't happen to know anything about rubies that just keep showing up in stuffed animals, do you?
Isn't that your field of expertise? This seems like a you thing.
You recall that you also had help from Ren last time you examined this, Ziri?
Well, that won't help me now. Did you guys make any progress?
he says he'll sell it to us for 200 gold.
200 gold. Do we have 200 gold?
Between all of us, maybe. But I figured we'd go down to the Dawnflower Library, as well as being able to look for the brooch. We could see if Vandy might be able to help us out. One bookish type to another, you know? That makes sense, right? Looks to Theory as the only other bookish person he knows.
Well, can't hurt to try. I suppose 200 gold is awfully lot.
Very
Or
well.
the most valuable book that I know of.
You guys walk and talk along your way to the Dawnflower Library. And
So
before
how'd things
that-
go with the girl?
I don't know. Ask her.
I'll look to Ziri.
Hmm?
Wait, is there a kid you don't get along with in town?
Is there a what?
I was asking Wesk. He gets along with all the other kids in town.
She's different.
Yes, how was the mayor's daughter doing?
Not well, I'm afraid. I found a ruby. Did I? Okay, so if they weren't there last
Found
time,
another
did they
one?
know about the ruby?
Yeah.
They know about
Okay.
the ruby. They didn't enter Doriana's room or talk to her. You just came out with a ruby.
Okay.
You
Well-
found another ruby?
No, that's the problem. It's not another ruby. I think it's the same ruby.
Darn, I was really hoping that one girl was going to be the solution to our money problems.
Did you... Did you ask her where it came from?
She said she has no idea how it got back in the belly of her little griffin toy, but that's where it was. I noticed it missing last night.
And nothing about anyone else interacting with the griffin?
She wasn't exactly super talkative today.
Ah, I see.
She also seems convinced I'm a devil.
Well... That's not the least common mistake from what I've heard.
Yeah, fair enough. It's the horns. But we have to figure out what's going on with this ruby. Maybe how to destroy it. She was also mentioning something called the... Why did I already forget? The
The Motley,
Motley Man.
Motley Man, thank you. The Motley Man.
Do you
Which-
know the Motley Man?
I assume
She
Motley
talked
Man
about-
has... Oh,
Last time showing up in her dreams.
safe to
What?
assume Motley Man wouldn't mean anything to a layperson.
I will let you decide on a knowledge check, but I will tell you now, the DC would be incredibly high. Off
Do
of
it. Roll a
just-
nat 20.
Off of just the description, no. Motley means colorful, and colorful dream creatures, unfortunately, colorful kind of is the default for dream creatures.
Yeah, I'm just picturing a jester. That's all I get from Motley Man.
Problem is, she said she wasn't so bothered by the dreams anymore. She's scared during the day, and it almost seemed like she was talking to somebody else while I was there, but I didn't notice any spirits or anything.
That's concerning.
Yeah.
There's lots of things that are invisible that aren't spirits. Gideon thinks back to recent enemies he's fought.
It's true, but I think we should keep an ear out for anybody who might know something more about this ruby or whatever the Motley Man is.
Indeed.
Ask everyone in town if they know the Motley Man.
Do you know?
Might be at the right place for that, actually.
Alright, after about this long, you guys enter the Dawnflower Library, or at the very least, are standing on the outside of it. The acolytes and priests inside, however, are running around much busier than normal. It seems there is a small commotion inside.
Well, I'd like to walk in and see if I can get a sense of what's going on.
There's a small corner of the library that is charred and black. Vandy stands about 30 feet back as a few of the acolytes begin to try and delicately salvage what they can from this corner. She stands 30 feet back, arms crossed, looking disapprovingly and disappointed.
Is this still from when the town was on fire? Or is this something completely different?
You don't know? Or are you asking Vandy?
I mean, I was asking, you know, like, 'cause I figured I would be able to tell the difference between a fire that was 2 days ago and a fire that's very recent. But fair
The
enough.
fair was last night, not 2 days ago, but
I will let you give me a crafting, warfare, or arcana check.
We're going warfare.
A vial of alchemist fire made this. It's too small. This was a very small, controlled fire.
Not even this place
Gideon
escaped from last night.
slowly
Oh.
opens his pack and eyes his model of alchemist fire. I hope I don't come under suspicion here.
Vandy turns to see each of you before the disappointed look on her face gradually is replaced with a small smile, and she throws her hands open in greeting. Hello.
Hey, have we come at a bad time?
No. That's fine. Come, have a seat.
Sit down.
I'll do the same.
She trots off and takes a seat beside each of you at a small table. So, what can I do for you today?
Well, we actually had a few orders of business here. First off, is everything okay? Gideon gestures vaguely towards the fire.
She looks back to the bookshelf, and a small twinge of annoyance and disappointment crosses her face again before she puts on her usual cheerful demeanor. We had a burglary, as I'm sure the news has spread like fire.
That around the time when the entire town was under fire.
Yes. It was Tavi's. Smile on her face wanes ever slightly.
Boy.
Gideon's going to look over to where the sun sword should be.
The glass has been smashed open and it is missing. She traces your gaze, Gideon, and nods at you. Yes, I believe we can all put two and two together. Seems like he took... And the smile on her face finally wanes fully, and an annoyance crosses her face. It seems like he took advantage of the chaos and set fire to the library and stole the sun sword.
Frowns. And he still had time to help us out that night. That's strange.
He's a strange man.
Tell me about it.
Not an altogether good man.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about the theft. That's actually going to be another point of concern to us.
So many concerns today, perhaps you should start listing some of them. I will do what I can to help.
In starters, I guess to simplify, in the Gauntlet, we have found one of the old treasures of the Gauntlet. I think it's just gonna pluck West real quick. Hold up the belt. She is using it as a bandolier.
She looks at you, Wesk, with a sense of empathy, as only someone who has also been plucked up against their will can testify.
He will set him down gently. But we need several other personal affects of the Rose Guard to continue progressing through the Gauntlet, and
So you came
indeed to
looking
find
for
Ren.
the Sun Sword and the Hunter's Brooch.
Correct. I'm glad you're quick on the uptake.
She sighs heavily. Well, you're friends of ours, and I would be happy to turn over the Hunter's Brooch, assuming that the mayor gives you leeway to. And frankly, she looks around kind of quietly under her breath. I would give it to you even if the mayor said no, but technically it is still his, and we keep it here at the Minham's permission. It would be nice to have his blessing, but not required. But as for the Sun Sword, there's nothing I can do there.
Understandably so.
That's a given.
Thankfully, it seems like the druids are willing to work with us again. And so, between the two of us, I believe that we can keep whatever sanctifications and blessings that we need, even if we don't have the holy relics. She says this with a little bit of... as if she's trying to convince herself of it.
Gestures appreciated. Well, I guess next on our list will be another visit to the Manheims then. You didn't happen by Joseph while you were there, did you?
Certainly wasn't at his
I
manor.
believe he's just now started to rest. He was up all night.
Of course he has. Yeah, all night, most of the day, as we caught him this morning.
She hops off her chair abruptly and begins to walk away mid-conversation.
We did have one more point if you've got 1 more minute.
She holds up a hand and continues to walk, before casting the hand behind her and waving at each of you to follow her.
Follow after.
Gideon shrugs. He'll start following after.
Same.
She quietly goes to one of these small chapel rooms dedicated to Saren Ray, which is the preeminent deity of this cathedral before. Reaching up into a silvered platinum glass case enchanted with some sort of magic. Tapping it lightly, the light is dispelled and she holds up a small brooch, extending her hand out to you.
Go ahead and take it.
Can't thank you enough for this.
Gideon, the hunter's brooch is now in your inventory.
I had a question as well.
What's your question?
Have you ever heard of something called the Motley Man?
The Motley Man. She hands the brooch over and shuts her eyes, thinking for a moment. No, I can't say that I have.
Fair enough. Well, I do really appreciate all of your help.
It's no problem at all. It's the least I can do for our... Well, you guys have helped the town out so much, and frankly, she smiles warmly at you. We're friends, right?
Absolutely.
I will be expecting you at our next book club series, so please don't get hurt out there.
I'll do my best.
I know you will.
I look forward to reading more of your recommendations. She's gonna wiggle her eyebrows.
Well, let's hope there's a library to... She trails off mid-sentence, looking a little sad and forlornly at the burnt section of the library before returning her gaze. Is there anything I can do for you?
I think that was it.
Gideon's gonna raise his hand again.
Yes.
So, Morblint has one of the other items, the book, Thresholds of Truth. he has been less forthcoming than yourself with assistance. He basically wants us to buy it for more money than I've ever seen in one place.
That does sound like him.
It does, doesn't it?
Hmm.
I don't want to cheat the man out of the book, and I certainly don't want to steal it, but I was wondering if you knew enough to maybe barter with him.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out. Unfortunately, we're not the most familiar with him. If there's anything you know about him that you think would be of use, that's...
She continues to think. The man loves his book. His book, that is. He's writing a book. He came from Wolfcrone a few years back, hoping to write here in peace. Perhaps if you had any sort of rare or valuable books you might lend to him, he might be willing to purchase it for a favor. Failing that, well, it really depends. I do know of a... She looks around, a less than honest way of making some money, but...
Yuri's gonna kind of perk up at the less than honest way.
Side-eye Siri the whole time. First for the willing to sell books part, and second for that.
What's the recommendation?
Well, rumor is that Esmeralda and Tavius have skipped town. And for his own good, that little cretin better have skipped town, she says, kind of shaking her fist.
Odds.
Most angry I've ever seen her.
Well, it might be that I'm a little biased, and perhaps a little upset, but frankly speaking, well, if neither one is there to take care of their belongings, and, well, we do have a thieves guild in town, perhaps some of their wares might go missing and be resold.
Nods thoughtfully. She's gonna look at the others in the group to see if they are also nodding thoughtfully.
As thoughtfully as I can.
Ziri is like, no, what? That's awful, unless...
Gideon's just looking at, I can't go back.
Trying to extract himself from this conversation.
Fine, Ziri's gonna grimace. Sigh deeply. Press her fingers between her nose for a moment.
Despite this place being quite prestigious, most of our funds actually go towards, well, rituals and spell components. I hesitate to admit this, but you may have pieced it together already. I'm not exactly a business owner. I don't really own a large building of any type or make a lot of money.
No, I wouldn't expect you to fund it for us. We were just looking for ideas, which you provided.
We might have some books we could try to bargain for, I suppose.
I would like
Gideon's
everybody
eyes
to
grow
give
wide
me
instinctively.
a society check, if you would.
Anybody?
Sure.
Why not? I have a 4.
Same. Nice.
Wesk, please.
Gotta come in.
Oh, thank God. Wesk.
Wesk is trained in society?
He is. He better be. He's Ceylondian. Wesk. You realize something that apparently nobody else has put together yet. You do know
What's that?
a rather wealthy business owner that owes you a favor now.
Brenda. Eskel suddenly pipe up and say,
Come again? Fandy says.
Gideon's ears perk up.
Brenda Vankerville.
Oh,
What about
yes.
Brenda?
She runs the Rowdy Rockfish. I've heard you guys are staying there. Quite a nice establishment.
Not a bad place to go next. And it's on the way if we're asking for permission to use the brooch, which we're doing.
Yeah, she'd definitely be a help.
Besides, we can see if she's managed to wake up. Perhaps Lazda may even be up and about now.
I hope they'd be up by now.
Not a bad idea. Thank you again.
That's no problem at all. I'm only too happy to help. You guys have done so much for the town already.
The assistance is much appreciated. Especially after everything else we've gone through today.
Sazan, give me a fortitude save. In fact, all of you give me a fortitude save. Screaming cat from the other room.
What?
Screaming cat from the other room.
Oh, you guys can hear her? Jesus.
No, my cat.
We also
Oh,
had
your
a
cat.
screaming
Okay, good. I was gonna say, dang, we gotta get some better sound control.
Sazan, as you
Cats.
This room's pretty freaking soundproof.
step away to begin leaving the Dawnflower Library. You're getting pretty tired. Like, weirdly tired, weirdly early. You're not feeling great.
Turn to the group. Is anyone else feeling pretty drained from last night?
No, I think we got a pretty full night's rest. You feeling alright?
Not
Gideon's gonna
entirely.
begin fussing with Sazan. Can I look over him real quick and see if anything's visibly wrong with him?
Sure, give me a medicine check. Can't immediately tell anything wrong with him. Things have been pretty damn stressful though right now.
Alright. Thanks, Sazan. When we head back to the Rowdy Rockfish, you can go ahead and lay down for a bit. And we'll continue running errands from there. I know, it's probably been harder on you than any of the rest of us, so.
I mean,
Want me to carry you back?
I'm probably fine.
Very well. You guys each head back to the Rowdy Rockfish.
Yeah.
Inside you see Brenda and Lazda sitting together across the bar from each other, seemingly catching up. As you enter, they turn to see you. Lazda gives you a weak, wry smile and a wave. Brenda, meanwhile, runs full force into you, throwing her
You're both awake.
arms wide open. and she's going to hug you, Wesk.
Don't.
Oh, it's so good to see each of you. Thank you, again.
But of
We're
course.
happy to be able to help.
Fine.
I will be back in a moment.
Very well.
I'll attempt to excuse myself upstairs for while this is going on.
Alright.
Sorry, I'm afraid Sasan seems to be feeling a little tired.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Is there anything that we can do? Have you guys had enough to eat today?
We did manage to make breakfast. Did you get some?
We did, thank you. That was incredibly thoughtful of you.
It's the least we could do. You've given us a lot the whole time we've been here.
Yeah.
Well, it's the least I could do to support each of you. She steps back from you now, Wesk, sort of dabbing at her face with her apron. No tears yet, but it looks like she's getting choked up again. You guys have done so much for us. I don't know where this town would be without you.
The least we can do.
No, it's really not the least you could do. The least you can do is nothing.
Oh, I've never been very good at doing nothing. But to that point, there's something else we're trying to do. We are collecting some of the, we'll call it personal affects of the old Rose Guard. We've
Oh.
gotten 2 of them already, which has been very helpful.
It's
Um,
quite extraordinary.
We're running into an issue with Morblint.
Of course you are.
Of course we are. He has the book. The Thresholds of
he
Truth.
does.
Of course he does. And he is refusing to lend it to us.
Refusing.
Yes, he would like 200 gold to just pay him off for the thing. And that is a king's ransom for a book, if I've ever seen one.
I see. She looks to Lazda, then back to each of you. That does sound like a troublesome issue.
We were looking for some other way to bargain with him, and thought somebody else who runs a business might know of an idea.
Well, I know that he's always willing to trade in books. She thinks for a minute.
Idiot Sai Siri yet again.
She thinks for a minute before Lazda shrugs. Well, go on, Mom. Yes, I do believe we can help you, she says. Still keeping her eyes on Lazda as she talks. We were thinking about, well, now that Lazda's back, we were thinking about maybe going somewhere with less bad memories.
Oh, are you planning on leaving?
Probably. We, well, as you might remember, the Rowdy Rockfish is actually Lazda's inn. I came here to watch over it for him, but Lazda doesn't much want to see the Gauntlet ever again in his life. And I think my boy has settled down and grown up enough to be without his mother by now. So I might return to where I'm from as well. Suffice to say, I think we would like to get out of here, and we might be making some of our assets a little more liquid in the meantime. Lazda shrugs in silence. I used to keep a couple things back in my day when I was trying to be an adventurer. It's the least I could do to repay you. And I know my mom would like to repay you as well. He grumbles a little bit, hopping off his bar stool before heading inside of his old room. That room that, for most of the time you guys have been here, it's stayed closed before once again re-emerging. In his hands, he grips a mace and a shield. Awkward silence fills the air. Unless Discord has just died.
No, I'm still here.
Discord's still here, but I'm pretty sure I am not in this scene anymore, so I'm staying quiet.
That's fair enough. Awkward silence overtakes the group before Lazda holds out the mace and shield towards you, Gideon.
I'll grab them. Thank you.
You obtain Lazda's mace and shield, and you are now encumbered.
Sure am.
It's a sturdy shield and a +1 striking mace. Afterwards, Brenda steps to the side, fetching a small coin purse out before extending your hand, Ziri, gripping it and turning over and adding 200 gold in a pile. The two step back, seemingly satisfied, looking at each other, giving a small smile to each other. Please let us know if there's anything else we can do for you.
More than enough, thank you. I was only here to find part of it.
You were what?
I was only here to see part of it, but
Oh.
that's okay.
Okay. You received 200 gold from Brenda.
Yep.
Yeah. You did more than enough.
Say nothing of the other stuff, which is also worth about the same amount.
Mm.
I think I'd like to settle down somewhere. I don't think venturing's the business for me if it ends up with me looking like this, Lazda says, pointing to his injuries that are still healing. That old gear served me good, but, well... after my last trip, I... don't much want to go out in the swamps no more.
I could certainly understand that. Well, where you do end up, be safe. Be sure to get a bodyguard for the way.
I think we'll, maybe old Morbland will want to travel with us. We can work something out, right?
Mm.
He Glad never to see those damn swamps and those lights again.
Can certainly understand that.
You recall that the last time Lasda was seen, he was traveling in the swamps with a man with a lantern.
On that note, when you left with a certain man. I believe he was a man with a lantern, and if I recall, he had a red cloak.
Yeah, he was an old veteran buddy of mine. I don't really know what happened to him.
Do you happen to know his name?
He thinks for a moment. No. Actually, now I can't recall much about him.
Do you remember anything of why you went off with him?
He scratches his head. That's right. We found some treasure. He's struggling. Before finally he comes up with the answer. He's found a ruby together. We were gonna sell it. It was our first big score.
Muskell looked to Ziri.
Gideon will also look to Ziri.
But
You found a ruby.
A ruby?
Don't you?
I will extend my hand with the ruby in it.
Huh. Yeah, that's a ruby, alright.
Yeah, but there's something weird about this ruby. It was in my bag, and then the next day it reappeared inside the stuffed animal I found it in, which is across the town from where my bag was.
Huh. Everyone give me a perception check if you would.
Oops, that was not in secret. Sorry.
Everyone's mostly focused on the ruby as Ziri pulls it out, but Gideon, you never tear your eyes away from Lasda. Perhaps an old holdover when you were an agent in Wolfcrone and interviewing criminals for the subtle ticks in their face, and you realize, with a sinking feeling, Lasda is not telling you the whole truth.
Is there something more you know about the ruby, Lasda?
No.
I'm gonna try and take the diplomatic approach here.
Okay. Give me a diplomacy check.
Lasda, it's very important that if you know something about this ruby, that we know about it. I cannot stress enough, this thing could be quite dangerous.
It's not you that breaks Lasda, it's his mother, as his mother turns to face him. A look of worry across her face. He finally relents. I don't know why. My head's just still kind of foggy, but the more I think about it, the more I remember about that night. I didn't want to, make a big deal out of it or anything, but I don't reckon that man was my friend, ever. I reckon I snuck off in the middle of the night when maybe I shouldn't have. He looks worriedly at his mother, and even for a grown man, it seems like he fears his mother's wrath. And I don't know, I don't remember why, but I ended up following the man into the swamp, and I think that's where it all started. I think
That's
he
where what all started.
did something to me out there. I started having these dreams of adventure. You know, like I've always wanted. And then I couldn't much sleep, and before long I knew I was sleepwalking, and next thing I know, I woke up in the Gauntlet one day.
Thank you.
Look, that's all I know, alright?
More than we knew before. Thank you.
Well, now we have another face that we need to track down. And also, we know this ruby is probably very bad news.
Unfortunately.
Suzanne, are you sleeping, or are you just taking it easy right now?
I'm just kind of taking it easy upstairs.
Okay. Suzanne, you feel like shit. You're starting to sweat. Like that nice cold sweat you get when you're sick.
I have different definitions of nice.
I'm gonna fumble around in my bag for that skull of removed disease.
Very well. You do so.
Make sure it's in a ready place, but I'm not gonna cast it on myself in this condition.
Okay.
Not now. Not now.
You do know remove disease does not essena you. It just reduces the stage of a disease by 1.
Enough!
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do I know much of anything I could be doing at this moment to, what's the standard procedure when getting sick?
Depends on the sickness.
This time period.
Give me a medicine check.
Sure.
I don't know what you have, Suzanne.
Probably calisthenics. That's probably the cure.
You feel like shit, and bed rest is typically what you go for. You don't know enough about what you actually have.
I'll go for that for the time being.
Very well.
I
Need
feel like we
Ziri
should
and
probably
West to give
find
me
out
a
some more
fortitude
about-
save.
Oof.
Yeah.
Still a 14 on a 1.
Ziri,
Hmm.
you've got whatever Suzanne's got. And it hits you suddenly. A wave of just exhaustion takes you. It's as if the last 2 or 3 days have all caught up to it. Actually, why am I describing this? You have chronic fatigue. You know what this is like.
Keep going. I like to live it through somebody else. Zira's gonna kind of all of a sudden wobble a little bit and put her hand to her head. Actually, I think I might go lie down too.
Oh boy.
Gideon's gonna look away from the conversation with Lazda and... that's two of you. Let me look at you real quick. I'm gonna briefly look over Ziri and see if I can figure out...
Look at the doctor, alright.
Medicine
You're
check.
gonna look at the doctor, alright.
I'm the second best doctor here and you're sick.
I was gonna say, Gideon's a fine doctor on his own. Physician,
Just gonna
tend
look her over
thyself.
real quick. Never a very good idea, by the way. Now that two of them are sick, I'm pretty sure something is wrong, so I'm going to see if I can look for specifically what is wrong with them.
Okay. Give me that medicine check. Ziri, would you like to attempt to aid in diagnosing yourself?
No.
No. Very well. Gideon, bad news. Ziri is at stage 2 of filth fever.
Filth fever. Is that the same thing we had last time?
No.
What do I know of filth fever? Filth fever.
Filth
Kind of
fever
fucked up.
is usually associated with crawling in nasty, dirty places.
I know, that checks out.
It does not get better on its own. It is also fatal if left unchecked.
Do I know what potential treatments are?
Magic.
We should have spent more time in the Dawnflower Library while we were there.
How do you say that?
Why?
This is a bad case of filth fever. I assume Suzanne has the
Actually,
same. Wes?
you can treat it without magic, but it's going to take you about a full day. And assuming that Ziri does just get better with your help, she would be down for 2 days. Things are time sensitive right now. And that's assuming everything goes correctly.
I don't assume we have time to be down for multiple days. I think we need to see somebody to cure this. Wes, you and I might be exposed as well. I don't know. Neither of us have succumbed to it yet, but we should probably find an old priest and a young priest. We got the young priest, so.
I'll go
But
get
more
Raver.
realistically, we need somebody to cure this disease. We don't have time to be bedridden all day.
I'll go get
I'll go.
Raver.
That is a solid idea. I'll go inform Suzanne of what's going on. Thank you both again. He's gonna say, turning back to both Lazda and
Yeah, it's
Amy.
perfectly fine.
Do I know what kind of magic it takes to fix filth fever?
Divine magic.
Suzanne has divine magic.
You also have divine magic.
I'm gonna say you have a whole ass thing dedicated to it. You just gotta change your chemist thingy.
I don't think I have divine animus.
Isn't your innate spell list divine?
Yes.
Yeah. But you think I took anything that looks remotely divine?
Yeah, that's the major problem is, yes, they could fix it themselves. They would be down for a day still, swapping all their spells.
Have to swap out all of her spell slots, such as the joy of prepared spellcasters.
It's better than not having it at all.
Yes, yes it is. Worst case scenario, we've got an out no matter what. We just have to lose a day. And I don't know if we have a day to lose right now.
Very well, what are we doing?
Well, first off, I'm going to turn on my heel and go inform Cezanne of what's going on. Assuming he's not already passed out. And if he is, I'll probably just try waking him as gently as possible. Maybe with a small amount of water if he doesn't wake up immediately.
Alright, Gideon comes upstairs, Cezanne, and informs you that you... Not great, bud.
Pretty sure he knows it's not great. I could just tell him what it is.
We have one scroll with remove disease. I don't think that's going to be enough.
I'm not sure it's going to either, bud. I think we should go. Wes said he was going to Raver. I'm not sure if I should go back to Vandy and see if she can do something. We'll wait and see what Raver says. Maybe the good doctor will make a house call.
Wesk, you're heading to Ravers.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
It has been a while since I've seen them.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna rush and try and get Ziri into a bed.
I'm going to swat him away and get into a bed.
Good enough.
Not dying yet.
Gideon, you know for a fact Ziri is in fact dying if left unchecked, but...
She did say yet.
I'm
How many
gonna...
stages does Phil Fever generally go through?
Before it gets bad or before it kills you?
Or it gets really bad?
3 is about when the body starts to shut down. Stage 4 is when you're just unconscious. Stage 5 is fatal. They are both at stage 2.
You're not dying yet, but you're getting close to a bad time. As long as she's laying down. I'm gonna see if I can grab some warm, wet cloths. Basically just tend to them for a bit, waiting for Wes to get back.
Alright. Wesk, you knock on the door.
Yep.
Very well.
I'll be right back.
Raver swings open the door to the small barn that has been repurposed into an alchemist lab, staring blankly ahead before turning to look down at you after a second. Yes.
Ziri and Cezanne are sick. We need your help.
Is this like a mental affliction? Because we've known for a while.
They're physically sick. They caught something in the Dawnflower. Or not the Dawnflower, sorry, the lighthouse. We know what it is, but we need your help.
Oh, good. Very well. I suppose I can make a house call.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Do I not have... I do still have Raver's token. Excellent. Raver strides back with each of you.
Yeah. We'll just be awkwardly waiting for him to get his stuff together.
Very well. Raver does diagnose the disease, and we'll assume that you're also informed, Wes, that they have filth fever, and that it is a disease that does not naturally get better on its own after a certain point, and they will need medicine. Raver will quickly, using quick alchemy, begin to concoct a file. After a bit, he hands you 2 of these, Wesk, before striding out of the room quickly, mentioning that you can just repay him later.
Thank you.
On 60 gold. He does also inform you it will expire in 10 minutes. You need to have that trinket immediately.
On hearing that, Wesk is going to climb up onto Cezanne's bed since he's been sicker longer and administer the first dose.
Very well. Excellent.
What happened? What are we rolling for? I disconnected quick.
Medicine.
Okay. Things were lagging out. I couldn't really hear anybody, so I just disconnected and reconnected. Docs, please stop.
I will re-roll that with one of Raver's hero points.
You.
Oh, actually, no. That's without the bonus.
8.
That's much better.
It is much better. Okay. Very well. As you down the potion, you start to immediately feel better after about 10 minutes is on.
Oh man.
Siri,
Thank you.
taking you medicine.
Yeah.
Don't thank me, thank Raver.
Very well. After about 10 minutes, in theory, you start to feel better. You
Thank you,
each
Raver.
still feel like you have a scratchy throat. You still feel bad, but you're not... Let's say you're not bedridden. How about that?
Is it something that'll
Very
return?
impressive.
Ziri, give me a medicine check. Don't know.
Well, evidently feels better than before. We don't really have time to waste in bed, so...
Yeah, we need to figure out how to get that book from Morplant.
Well, I think we just got a solution to that.
Oh? What happened?
Well, we received a few new things.
We have the gold to buy the relic.
That's incredible.
You should give your thanks to Brenda and Lazda.
They're far too kind to us.
I agree. But we should probably head downstairs to thank them and then head that way. We don't really have time to waste.
Is it, do I know enough about this to know if it's safe to go out? Is this contagious by exposure?
Give me a medicine check. You don't
I
know.
trust that Ziri knows what she's doing.
Do I know enough to know whether or not it's contagious?
You diagnose the disease. Yes, it is contagious.
We should probably make sure everyone's fully treated first.
However, for the sake of brevity, Raver's concoction has fully eliminated the disease.
Nice.
Does that mean we should remove the stage 2 thing, or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that.
Should the rest of us maybe be inoculated, or?
I mean, you're not sick right now. And you haven't got sick
That
yet.
is a factual statement. And as we all know, if a disease is not currently presenting, it's not happening.
Correct.
Well.
Go on, prove me wrong. I'm the god of this world.
I guess then we head out.
We'll miss Raver. He was gone as quickly as he came.
Always was.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I was resting there for a moment. I'm kind of ashamed I missed him.
I'm sure you'll get another chance to see
Yeah,
him.
Where are we
for
heading off
now,
to?
let's...
Guess we're gonna head straight back to Odd Stories then.
Very well. A sudden urge to play sick overtakes you, Ziri.
What?
Nothing.
We're going back to Morblint.
Each of you find yourselves standing in front of the small bookstore called Odd Stories.
I'll walk in.
Just nonchalantly.
Yeah,
Very well.
friend. Try and put on a friendly demeanor.
Very well. Morblunt offers you no such same.
Packing going alright?
He looks up from where he's still packing, looking at you, taking in a deep breath. I suppose.
Well, I won't take up too much of your time for real this time. We're,
I might even believe you this time.
we have the gold.
Big shout outs to everyone hiding just out of sight of Morblunt. I've noticed
like this
all
man.
of you just...
Where is he?
He's around the bookshelf.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Well, now you're in the bookshelf. Hold on, let me just... You're not supposed to be able to walk through that bookshelf, but here we are.
You're not?
No, you're not supposed to be able to walk through any of this. But
Ironically,
here
I get stopped in the bookshelf, but I can in fact be inside the bookshelf.
we are. Interesting.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so you can't walk through them. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, but you
Morblunt
can walk through this one
scowls.
horizontally.
As we walk into the bookshelves repeatedly.
Morblunt scowls as the party
Fucking
accosts
Skyrim
his-
Into every single object in the room.
God damn it.
We have fun here.
We do have fun here. What's not going to be fun is when I have to use this music for this.
Oh no, I have to turn my music back on. Hold on.
Very well. Morblunt looks astounded that you have the money immediately. I suppose I'm in
Honestly,
the
I'm
wrong
surprised if
business.
he is.
I really should.
Yeah, you should try adventuring sometime.
Perhaps I shall. I don't know why I channeled Snape there.
Honestly, it's not a bad voice for Mormon.
Well,
I will hand over a little bag of gold.
it's not a little
I
bag
think
of
it's
gold.
not little.
200 gold is not to be a
Modest
small bag.
of gold. I will
That's like a life fucking saving.
heft this modest bag of gold upon his desk.
Hoist, if you will.
It's about the size of both your fists put together, Ziri. It thuds to the table, a satisfying clang, but a dissatisfying feeling in your wallet.
It is much less impressive in there now, yep. Felt real rich for a minute. Story of my life. Goes as easy as a kick.
Very well. Morblunt looks surprised. He doesn't move at first before he looks at you warily, Ziri, reaching out, not tearing his eyes away from yours, plucking the bag suddenly.
I'm going to kind of awkwardly arch brow as he comes at me, wondering what's going on.
He plucks the pouch from where it lies, setting it in his lap, opening it, and beginning to slowly and methodically. Oh, who am I kidding? He snaps his fingers and does a small spell that rapidly counts every coin for him before looking astounded and amazed and a little bit befuddled before putting all the coins back in the bag and standing.
That's a good word.
Very well. Stay here.
Of course.
He disappears into the back room for a bit. Silence fills the shop air.
Imagine if he just took off with 200 gold.
Suddenly, the sound of breaking glass. No.
I'm sure with the property, it's not worth it. Plus, we have no reason to think he's less than reputable.
Actually, what's the cost of a property around here?
Give me a society check.
Say 200 gold might be more.
At the very least, he wouldn't leave his books.
Real estate is not Gideon's specialty.
Okay. I will say with that roll, Gideon, something like this, probably at least 3,000 gold.
Do people ever afford real estate?
That's the entire mortgage. In monthly rent, it would probably be about 100 gold a month.
People ever afford real estate?
Anyway, now we're getting really real, and I don't like it. We're gonna move on.
Well, the people came to the logging town and kept it in the family for generations.
So they're hoarding their wealth.
Anyway, I said we're moving on.
Before the entire party
Real existential over here.
destroys the proletariat.
Yeah, bad news about what the Mancer campaign was. Anyway.
The Mayhems have had it too good for too long.
You're starting to sound like Tobias.
I don't know where that guy is. Somebody's got to fill that role.
There's not a little bit of Tavius in each and every one.
That's terrible. Never say that again. Speaking of, you guys recall that Joseph knows where Tavius is. It's not a well-kept secret around the town. I don't think anyone has bothered to ask, but...
I don't think we knew.
I believe only Wes heard.
Yeah, I did.
Very well. Just wanted to point out that it's funny that you guys are doing the time-sensitive quest with the longest time first.
Oh.
I mean, I hardly think it was going to take too long to drop a bag of gold at.
Well, after about
Really, it
10
was
minutes.
almost on the way.
Morblint comes striding out and bearing a large, strangely messy-looking spellbook.
Strangely.
Gideon, you recall that most mages keep their spellbook relatively neat and orderly, thick leather-bound tomes. This is more like a notebook with dozens of loose-leaf papers shoved inside of it, bound together by a leather strap. He places the book on the desk. Well, there you go.
Thank you. Oh. And, before we depart, I'm gonna pull the, diamond tapestry.
Yes.
I just wanted to say, growing up, books have meant a lot to me as well. This favorite of my brother here. So, just best of luck on your own writing.
Well, thank you.
I hope it goes
very
well.
nice. I wish you luck with... He can't help himself as a small sneer threatens to cross his face. Whatever it is you people do out there.
Thank you. I'll take the spellbook.
Okay. You now have the thresholds of truth in your inventory. With that, I believe you guys have 3 out of 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sure do.
One more to find.
Morblint takes a seat and begins to pack more of his belongings into satchels of holding and crates of containing.
Great. Good talk.
And handy haversacks.
I'll put away the diamond tapestry and head out.
Very well. What's everyone doing then?
Is this a side door to leave? Is this a
No.
quick exit?
He calls out.
We should go find Joseph Minims.
Yeah. You think he knows where Tobias is?
I know that he knows where Tobias is.
I wouldn't be surprised if everyone knows where that boy is. They never really made it hidden.
Oh, do you know?
Everyone in the town knows.
Where would that be?
It's the old smuggler's cave.
Smuggler's Cave. I'll glance to Gideon.
What are you looking at me for?
Fair point. I'll glance to Wesk.
What do I remember about the Smuggler's Cave?
Give me a society or a nature check. Fuck all.
Wesk will shrug his shoulders.
You're not from this area, Wesk. Why would you know? Frankly,
In
it's a
spite of
little
my
bit
better
insulting that Cezanne thinks you're a smuggler.
Does Gideon know anything about the Smuggler's Game?
Same to you.
Okay.
Okay, well, head out.
You too, Gideon, actually. About an hour north of town, you actually kind of discovered this on your own as you went into Otari. An hour north out of town, near the shoreline, there is a rather decent place to smuggle and hide goods. And in fact, it used to be used as a smuggling ring. You recall that from your time in Wolfkrone, where you would often, well, not you, but some Wolfkrone soldiers would be dispatched to crack down on smuggling. It's long since been out of use, but for the little Osprey Club, the Thieves Guild here, they might delight in the little childlike hideout. Did Siri die?
Oh.
Where did...
That's what that button does.
What did you do?
I just clicked the button to exit. That's fine.
Why do you have a vaporize button?
Oh boy, a vaporize button.
It's not. It's just the button back to Atari. Calm down. Why are there two of me?
Because I don't think the button was intended to be used that way. Is there two of me? Yes, there are.
Oh no!
Walking in tandem.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen.
It was very fun.
I just needed to click the button. I've been hovering
No, the
over it
button
for
is
like
totally
2 hours.
supposed to be used for that, but
Okay.
regardless, Gideon, you think you could navigate to the smuggler's cave
Right.
if you would like
Fine.
to?
I do know where it is, but I don't appreciate the insinuation for the record.
Wesk, you're a little bit confused.
Okay.
You thought you were the one being insinuated to be a smuggler, but, you know.
Looked at me first. It's about an hour north of town. We could probably get there pretty immediately.
Oh, we should go talk with him. You know him the best.
Do know you're the best.
What?
Well, we should probably all go just in case talking doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I wouldn't mean anything to the contrary.
Cracks knuckles.
I wouldn't want to fight a man with the sun sword, but
Say, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't want to fight Tavius. With or without the sun sword.
I might want to fight Tavius, but the sword is a different matter entirely.
didn't you nearly get a chance to fight him once?
I want to talk about
Oh wait,
it.
no wait, I wasn't there for that. Never mind. Gideon.
Yeah.
This is going to be a bit of a walk. Would you mind if I took a look at that? Oh, why am I spacing? I'm forgetting the name of it. The thing from the Dawnflower Library.
The Hunter's Perch.
Yeah, the Hunter's
We were
Perch.
in Odd Stories. I should have asked him about the ruby.
It's
That's
too
the
late now.
story.
You guys have started hiking up.
I forgot.
GM's like, nope, we're not going back.
No, we're just not splitting the party again. This is a y'all get one. You spent it going to the Menhems and the Odd Stories.
To be fair, I thought that was a pretty efficient party splitting.
Just because it's
Yeah, you
efficient,
might-
I mean I gotta like it.
That's fair.
Mind if I look it over? I'm just a little curious about it.
Sure.
Very well.
Well, like to try and examine it a bit as we walk.
What about the Hunter's Brooch would you like to know specifically?
Oh, we already know everything it does. Never mind.
Correct.
Yeah.
The only thing I have in my inventory that I don't know what it is the sword I'm using.
Which is pretty impressive that you've still not bothered to ask Ziri to take a look at that.
I was trying to, but we haven't had a second of downtime in a minute.
Yeah.
I was going to ask to do that right then, but Sazan jumped the gun on it.
Very well. Essentially, Tazan, you know that the Hunter's Breach allows you to cast Vitality Lash at will, infinitely, even if you don't know how to cast spells. As well as that, it turns any weapon you're wielding into an incredibly potent undead killing weapon for about 1 minute.
Fascinating.
In exchange for an entire turn.
Yep.
Extremely potent anti-undead magic here. They seemed like they were well suited for the godlight.
I would say so.
I mean, you spend long enough anywhere, you're going to become well suited to surviving there. Gideon thinks back to a different time and a different life. Too well suited. On that note, Theory, can I ask you to take a look at this sword? Tell me what it is.
Sure. I'll go ahead and take it. And try to quick identify it.
Give me a identify check of your choice.
What are optional identity or identifying checks?
Arcana, nature, religion, occult.
Occult. Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
Okay. You do identify it, Ziri. Rather
Excellent.
quickly. Is a +1 striking longsword. Notably, Ziri looks exactly like the Sun Sword. It hums nicely in the hand, and it's got some pretty unique magics on it. The bigger thing is that it is stronger in direct sunlight, and this thing has attuned to Gideon's vitality. It is stronger when Gideon is at full health.
Seems to be connected to you in some way already, Gideon.
Interesting.
I'm gonna kind of hand it back over.
It also has the unique ability to fire a beam of pure light out.
Pew pew.
Correct.
Yay!
Darn, I can't play it.
Trust me, I
I
already
know that was intentional.
There is a very intentional purpose behind that.
I tried the moment I saw it.
Same. I was like, wait a second, that's a sound.
But yes, you may make a ranged attack up to 60 feet away that will deal 3d4 fire damage, and additional damage against undead, and additional damage if something is unholy. If you are in natural sunlight or at full health, the die goes from a d4 to a d6. This takes 2 actions to fire. Other than that, it is yet another +1 striking longsword, just like your smoking sword, with a lot more flair to it.
Glad I was using it.
Even if you didn't know about the beam. Or
Yeah, I feel like that would have been helpful at various points.
Now you know.
As you guys arrive, it's about 6 p.m. there is a small group of members of the Osprey Guild sitting quietly around a campfire about 6 p.m. They're only halfway paying attention, and you manage to get quite close to them before they notice you. What would each of you like to do?
Is going to look to Gideon as he seems to he was the one that won the drinking competition, so they might know him better than the rest of us.
I'll give a slight wave.
They seem startled to see you each jumping to their feet, clutching a weapon. Before
Calm down, calm down.
looking at each of you, before realizing that they wouldn't have much chance anyway. They look awkwardly in silence.
We're here looking for Tobias.
Oh, thank God.
And also, I suppose, Esmeralda. But
Look, the bosses are still here, but they don't want to be disturbed right now.
it's pretty pressing.
Not like we could stop you even if we tried.
So to say, I'm just gonna start walking that way.
Could you at least, pretend that we tried to stop you?
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Very well.
Yeah, I think I'm missing 5 HP. I just flash a bruise or something.
Very well. You guys do step into the cavern, where Tavius and Esmeralda are sitting, seemingly arguing amongst themselves to each other. The first thing you notice is that Tavius has the sun sword in his hand, turning it over in his hands over and over and over, kind of spinning it, catching it, looking at himself in the reflection, spinning it, catching it, looking at himself in the reflection. Esmeralda is talking to him in a hushed whisper when she notices each of you come in. It seems like they have been expecting you for a while. And that's where we're going to stop for the night.
Yep, that's a pretty good stopping point.
Yeah, I need to sleep.
Same.
And just for funsies.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's go ahead and reward our
Okay.
cool guy
Go ahead.
point for the night. Who did the cool thing? Or who did the best roleplay, etc., etc.
I'd say Zuri. That whole back and forth with the mayor's daughter was honestly really well done.
Sure.
Very well. Any last thoughts, any last actions before we continue?
So,
Very well. We'll go back to the landing page and wrap it up for the night.
Glad Tobias got to have his cool sword for all of 5 minutes before we immediately had to take it from him.
He's had it for at least 12 hours.
You're right. And he's still staring at it longfully.
Very well.
But you know what? My last 12 hours were probably a lot frickin' worse than his.
I was gonna say, don't you wish you were staring at a cool sword for 12 hours?
I mean, technically I just was, actually. But that is a much cooler sword.
It is.
Very well. Go ahead and wrap it up here. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.